world specialists in the field of design. So what I'd like to give you is an overview of what we see as a developer and how design plays a role in the developer's psyche when it comes to green buildings. Common knowledge, Brundtland Commission talks about meeting the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. Buildings in general use over 40% of all energy that is consumed on this planet, generate over 40% of waste. And what we see is that the building industry has used the environment as a warehouse of resources and a sink for waste. Now, this is something that, given the exponential growth that the building industry has seen in all around the world, and especially here in India, or what we're going to see in the next 20 years, the use of the environment as a sink for waste is something that is coming into a very critical glare and will need to be addressed. Green buildings or sustainable design concepts in India are not new. They've always been an integral part of a lot of the planning that has gone into buildings and cities for many years, many centuries now. Orientation is something that is very fundamental to design of buildings. Use of screens for cooling and for bringing down ambient temperature in our kind of climate is very commonplace in ancient India. Use of water for evaporative cooling, recharging water tables, and these have been demonstrated all the way from buildings to entire cities in our past. But somewhere along the line, as we've begun to ape the West, and as technology has evolved, we seem to have lost our way. Just going back to the modern green building movement, it really started off in the early 90s at the World Congress of Architects in Chicago, where the idea of green buildings or sustainable building development was mooted. What that led to is, of course, the LEED movement in America, which has spearheaded change and has led to an offshoot of several different building rating systems across the world to support the green building movement itself and to provide benchmarks of different categories for different uses of buildings. In India, the most recent developments are really the Terry Griha rating and the IGBC Green Homes rating, which has now evolved to its second stage. Both of these are fairly new. Like you can imagine, like a lot of you would probably know, I don't think any of us have even seen what these buildings will look like or have lived in one of them. So these are buildings that are just coming online in the last couple of years. So people are beginning to understand what this means, what it promises, what it offers, and where the gaps are. This is just representative of the kind of growth that the green building industry has seen in India. We currently have over 1 billion square foot of pre-certified green buildings in India. Like you can see, there's a large gap between what is pre-certified and what is certified. And again, this pre-certification concept is a little bit of an Indian phenomena again. We'll talk a little bit about how what challenges those pose. What are the key drivers to green development or green building development? One of the first things that's forced the green building, the building industry and the real estate industry to move towards green buildings is technology. I was just overhearing a few gentlemen speaking about how Indian IT companies are driving change in energy usage across the world but we are unable to bring that kind of impact to what we do here locally. So technology has been one of the key enablers and drivers for green buildings in general. The availability of green products, building products, the availability of smart homes, the awareness levels that energy labeling has brought, all the way from appliances to equipment. And today we're talking about offices and homes and buildings and campuses and towns and cities. Of course, on the design side, building information modeling is something that is also a great enabler, because what it does is it brings a lot of data and it makes it available immediately, whether it is a design decision or an operational decision or control decision. Another key driver has been education about sustainable buildings and sustainability in general. Consumers are well aware of the benefits of the financial and environmental benefits of going green. However, while this has been a driver in some areas, this has also been a major stumbling block for developers across the country to embrace sustainability in a much larger fashion. The question of policy and consumer demand really should be at the forefront of what are the drivers in this industry. However, what we're seeing is that there's a lag, and we're being led by products and technology rather than being led by some of these aspects. So, for example, policy today is largely voluntary. The rating systems that we talked about, whether it's LEED or Griha or IGBC, are largely voluntary, and what that does is it leaves it up to owners, developers to make this happen. When it comes to making things statutory, legislation demanding a minimum either green certification or use of green products, or setting benchmarks, whether it's in energy or water, are very critical. A lot of developments across the country a lot of municipalities are progressive in their thinking, but we still have a long way to go. Incentives, of course, can be in many forms: financial, can be structural in terms of density, provision of density. The other could be in the form of making products and making technologies viable in the form of technical assistance. Consumer demand, again, like I said, there is growing awareness from a consumer perspective. However, it's yet to be demonstrated that a greater capital or rental value is the outcome of green buildings, and that has largely held the consumer back from going all the way.